which was couples privilege, which is a topic that we didn't really know about until we kind of started delving into more of the poly world, poly language, and what are some terminology things that can come up when you're seeking a triad, because that was our main focus when we first kind of got into everything, was like, how do you get a third girl? How do you bring somebody into your relationship? And how do you just navigate all that? Before we talk about that, you have to know what it is, in case y'all don't know.
And so I'm going to read a couples privilege to you right now so you know exactly what it is, so we can kind of, get to the nitty gritty.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, couples privilege is the advantage that an established couple has, which is especially pronounced as a new person is added to a relationship. Whether the new person is dating one or both of them, there is no way out of couples privilege. It's just there, giving silent advantages that people consider normal.
Couples privilege is just the fact of someone coming into your relationship and you're already having a history with that person. That in and of itself is already couples privilege. It's like someone's already coming in something that's already established, already been going. For example, Bernard and I have been together for over 10 years. If someone joins in, yes, we can say we're all equal. Yes, we can say, because we've tried it before, we're all equal, everyone has equal say. But there's still certain things that come up that are normal for us that is automatically couples privilege, whether or not we want to agree with it.
And it's like, it's two against one. You have two people going against one person. And it's like, our influence is going to be a little bit stronger than that one person coming in. And from the jokes that we have, to the connection, to just a whole bunch of different things, just how we do everything. And it's not that we're trying to do that, but we don't realize that also, we need to also take into consideration that this person coming to this relationship is not just there to be convenient for us and make us feel good, or like a sex toy or some kind of new, like, way of helping our relationship get better and repair it. So,
and I think a lot of people sometimes get into that too, where they try to find someone to join their relationship to kind of, make it better, improve it, and all that. I mean, nothing wrong with wanting to engage in certain behaviors, but you have to make sure that the foundation is solid, because at the end of the day, and once again, even just talking about that in simple, like just saying like the foundation has to be solid. That is couples privilege. It's already knowing that like you're coming into a situation and that someone else is coming into a situation with already something already being there and already certain ways of doing things. So boundaries and rules. For example, there's couples, even let's just talk about us. With us, it was kind of like, all right, when we first got into poly, it was really more so like, we're going to find some single females that are bisexual and down to fuck around, and that's all it's going to be. It wasn't going to be like, oh, we're going to get someone that maybe has a boyfriend already or is dating as a single woman, and we're also going to be one of the people that she's dating. That was not going to be a factor because that wasn't what we were open to at that time. So now even just talking about that, that's couples privilege. It's saying that we only want you if you're single and you're bi. If you're not any one of the categories, we don't want you. It's hard not to like hit these little like hiccups along the way. I mean, something as simple as like living arrangements. I mean, even with living arrangements, it's like someone moving, more than likely, if you have a third that you want to find and you want them to join your empire and build a family and complete you as a couple, what's normally going to happen is that they're going to end up living or moving in with you. It's not like everyone's moving out and going into a fresh new home. So that already is couple privilege. Now she's coming into that third person. We're going to speak more so when it comes to a single female. And of course, there's other people who do stuff with guys as unicorns. But generally speaking, it's mainly a female. It's like she just has to come into someone else's home.
And that's the home you guys have been in the whole time. A way to go about it a little bit better would be where you guys buy a place together and you all meet and live at that same place. And meet at their same place, like around the same time. Instead of her just coming over and living with you guys, like switch it up. Like, so everyone has a fresh start, new place for everyone. Don't nobody know where everything's at. The TV's not where it's usually at. The couches aren't arranged the way you guys want it to. So it's like you're giving her a chance also to build something new with you guys instead of just coming into something that's already built. And guess what? She has to adjust and kind of learn to duck and move the way you guys want her to move and do things the way you guys do things. So
and it's like where the dishes are, they're ready at a certain place. I mean, it's like little nitpicky just stuff like that.
You don't even realize, but it's like you want to give that person an opportunity to kind of be able to kind of have some kind of like a voice in a relationship. And last thing you want is like you guys bombard her with all the things that you guys have, that she has no voice. So she feels like she's just a piece of meat, and then she's an intruder in your relationship. And that's what a lot of things end up happening sometimes, where they like feel like they're intruders. But we'll harp on some other things and talk about other things.
And even that, and it's hard for that other person, because as much as someone wants to join in on a relationship, you know, of course it's like it's gonna be hard, you know, because at the end of the day, let's be real, if there's an argument happening and me and Bernard are on the same page and the third person has a different perspective, our argument is going to hold a lot more weight, because we got each other. We're feeding off of each other on the same point, versus that other person has nobody. So now automatically it's like it almost like makes that person and what they're feeling automatically invalid, because they don't have the weight that we would have in the history that we have. You know, so even when it comes to arguments, even if we're having an argument and we're kind of trying to work our own issues, that third person is almost like they're kind of watching in from the outside.
And they don't want to take sides.
Exactly.
They don't want to take sides.
And that can be a challenge too.
Yeah.
You know, and also too, maybe we need to also express to them, hey, listen, we're going through some shit right now. Like, you know, do you want to be a part of it or not? But even still being a part of it, it's like, what do you do? Do you choose sides? Do you not choose sides? It puts them in a weird, awkward position. You know, so it's like, that's all things that kind of come up, you know, and it's like, even besides all that, it's just there's so many other different areas where things, I mean, we can even go into things when it comes to family planning. Oh my God, that's a big one.
That's a big one we're going to talk about.
Who's going to have the baby? Like, if y'all don't have kids already, who's going to be the first one to have the kids? If you have a relationship that's been together for 10 years or even 5 years, and then you have someone new that comes in, and now y'all been together for 2 years, but now that existing relationship's been together for really 7, now it's like, okay, well, I feel like I should be the one to have the babies first, because I've been with him the longest. Yeah. And then that comes up. Like, how do you handle that?
And that's a very uncomfortable like conversation to have. And those are the things you need to kind of bring up. You know, so that person that's the third doesn't feel like, okay, like, well, damn, like, you know, do I even matter to this couple? Like, you know, why am I even here? You know, they're not gonna listen to what I gotta say. You know, if, even from the standpoint of the argument that Kathy was talking about earlier, like, give that person an option to be like, okay, like, we're arguing right now, we're not seeing eye to eye. You don't have to choose sides, but you can choose to be here and listen to this shit while we going through it, or you can choose not to be here, so you don't feel like, you know, you have to choose sides or anything like that. Just give them an option, because it's like they're coming into a whole new dynamic and whole new relationship, and it's like we're so caught up into thinking like, okay, like they're here to serve us, you know, and be what we want them to be, but
like
it's
an
like
accessory.
An accessory.
It's like, oh yeah, this would be a perfect accessory to our relationship, when that person got their own feelings, their own desires, their own wants. And it's like, and that's what we talked about before in the last video, where it's like, if people want to find a third, it's like figuring out, like, first you got to figure out what you want. And then also make sure that whatever that person wants, they're getting their needs met too, because it has to be mutually beneficial. You can't have somebody come into your relationship and they have to abide by all these rules. Meanwhile, you as a couple can do whatever the hell you want. Yeah. Y'all move as you want. Y'all do whatever you want. But me being the third person in the relationship, or the unicorn, I have to abide by certain rules. There's certain things I can and cannot do, because I'm a part of your relationship. And just even saying like, that's already asserting a couple's privilege. Even things with finances, that's another big one too. It's like, sometimes, like, I know me and Bernard kind of had that too, where it's like, of course, we're used to blending our finances. We've been together for so long. Yeah. So like, when we were engaging in the idea of like having someone, we were also with someone else on different engagements with different people. It was like, okay, automatically in my mind, I'm like, all right, well, we doing the family budget, like how much you making, how much, let's make sure we got all the bills covered. And that's all stuff that's like, I asserted myself in a certain way when I shouldn't have. I never even asked, hey, like, how do you feel about that? Yeah. What do you think about us merging finances? Do you want to do that? Should we make a separate account? Like, these are all things that come up that like can just happen automatically. Like, I was operating in what was normal, because that's what I'm normally doing. Whatever we make, it goes to the pot. No matter what debit card you use, it's the same pot.
Everyone's using the same pot.
And we're all benefiting from the same thing.
Benefiting from it, but it's like, you know, we also need to address that, because I mean, they're just coming into this relationship dynamic, so they're like, you know, like,
well, I gotta give you all my money and show you what I'm making and all that stuff.
But at the same time, we feel some type of way also, because it's like, why do you feel like we got to give you our money also? Because, you know, when we're dishing out the money for meals and different things like that,
or vacations,
you're
benefiting from
You're benefiting from it also. So it's like, we want to also put it together and work together and establish something where everyone's getting like mutually like winning, or mutually like rewarded for what's going on, and giving something back. So that's the tough part also with the finances. So the finances kind of
that's a big one too. And then even when it comes to things like holidays and things like that, like I know when we talked about our coming out video, like I know my dad had told me, he's like, I don't want her in my home and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, that's fine, I respect that. But also know when you come into our space, like this is our home. So if you don't agree with it, then you don't have to come, but this is our home. But even just understanding, for example, with that, like for a holiday or a family gathering, like we would not have been able to bring her to my parents' house. If we would have wanted to go, if we even decided to go, we wouldn't be able to do that out of respect for my dad and his home and the rules that he has for his house. So it's like little things like that. It's like, then what do you do with that person? That person now who has left their family, they're kind of joining into your family. Now they're left out in the cold while you go off and do the family thing, and now they're left by themselves. Which I know for us, like we ended up kind of reworking some different like holidays where we're like, we found mutual friends that we kind of spent time with, so that we don't leave that person who we knew didn't really have that family support by themselves on a holiday. But that's all things to consider, that we couldn't just bring her with us to, you know, my grandma's house and we all just hanging out, you know. And even still with the hanging out part, public affection. That's a big one too. If Bernard is seen out and about with someone else that's not me, and a mutual friend finds him, they're gonna be like, "Oh, Bernard cheating.
That nigga cheating.
Girl, he was somebody else. He's talking about the movies.
I'm following him right now. I see his tag, everything.
Is this his tag number on the truck? It's like, yes, bitch, it is, but it's fine. Like I know exactly where he's at, what he's doing. So even that alone, it's like there's certain things that even if we're all out and about and people know us, we're at a friend's gathering, it's like me and Bernard can move a certain way and show affection and do how we do, because that's what we've been doing, and it's been conditioned where that's okay. Like your husband and wife, of course you could do that. But now when you bring somebody else in, it's like, do they have that same right? Like, can him and her kind of go off and make out at a party in the corner and I'm just sitting there chilling and vibing without someone saying something or making it seem like I'm excluded? Like, that's all little things that can kind of come up. Even just visiting old towns, or what, for example, our college town, us going through and having all these memories, like that person has no relation to that. It has no connection to the experiences that we had. That's couples privilege. They can feel left out because of that. Even something in regards to healthcare benefits. Like as much as we love a third person in our relationship, at the end of the day, like me and him are married, like we're on the same insurance.
On all the documents and everything like that. We
can't add another adult and someone who's not our child on our insurance. You know, so when we already have a spouse, even something, if an emergency happens at the hospital due to HIPAA and, you know, confidentiality, they're not going to release information to her if something happens. Who are they going to, are you the spouse? No, I'm the, and we can't talk to you. It's a hard thing. You know what I mean? I think it's just something just to consider, that like there's other factors involved besides just, oh, we found somebody who look good, let's just go fuck them and bring them into our lives, and now we got a third. Ooh, how exciting. Like it's a lot of fucking hard work.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of self-reflection.
A lot of self-reflection, a lot of attentiveness to like details and body language.
When you are a couple seeking a third, and for any women that are out there seeking a couple, just know that going into it, that there's gonna be a lot of pre-established things that are there. Is it hard? Yes. Can it be worked through? Yes. But communication has to be at the top of the list.
A priority.
Like you have to. Like there's no way around it.